It's 2 a.m. You're lying in bed. Your phone is glowing in your hand. You tell yourself you'll put it down in 5 minutes. But the real answer to why you're awake right now is far stranger than a phone screen. Your brain was never built for one long block of sleep. It was built for something else entirely, something you've completely forgotten how to do. Go back 50,000 years. There are no beds, no walls, no electric light humming in the corner of a room, just a fire, a few bodies close together, and a sky so dark you can see the Milky Way as a river of light overhead. And in the middle of that darkness, something happens that would look completely abnormal to you today. Your ancestors wake up, not from a nightmare, not from a noise. They wake up because that's simply what a night was supposed to contain. The historian A. Roger E. Kirk spent years digging through old court records, diaries, and medical texts from pre-industrial Europe. What he found changed how researchers think about sleep entirely. Night after night, ordinary people wrote about something called first sleep and second sleep. You'd lie down not long after dark. You'd sleep for 3 or 4 hours. Then you'd wake up, not in a panic, not checking a clock, because clocks barely mattered. You'd wake up into an hour or two of quiet wakefulness in the middle of the night. What did people do in that gap? They prayed. They talked quietly with a partner. They tended the fire. Some got up and visited a neighbor. Some just lay there thinking in a state some described as unusually calm. Then, when the body was ready, they drifted into second sleep and woke again with the sun. Doesn't that sound like insomnia to you? It isn't. It's the opposite. In the 1990s, the psychiatrist Thomas Ware ran an experiment that accidentally proved this. He placed a group of volunteers in rooms with no artificial light for 14 hours a night, mimicking the long winter nights our ancestors would have lived through for most of human history. At first, the volunteers slept in one long stretch, exhausted from modern life. But within weeks, something shifted. Their sleep split in two. A few hours of rest, then an hour or two of quiet, relaxed wakefulness, then a second block of sleep. The exact pattern Ekirch found buried in centuries-old diaries. Your body already knows how to do this. It's just never been given the darkness required to try. So why did this pattern disappear? You already suspect the answer. Light. Gas lamps arrived. Then electric bulbs. Suddenly, night wasn't dark anymore. It was just a dimmer version of day. Factories needed workers on fixed schedules, not people drifting in and out of two sleeps whenever their bodies felt ready. Society reorganized itself around the idea that sleep should be one uninterrupted block, squeezed into the smallest window the economy could tolerate. First sleep and second sleep didn't vanish because they were unhealthy. They vanished because they were inconvenient. But here's where it gets stranger. This two-part sleep might not even be the oldest pattern. Some evidence points further back. The sleep researcher Jerome Siegel wanted to know what sleep actually looked like before agriculture, before cities, before any of this. So he studied 3 of the last hunter-gatherer societies on Earth: the Hadza of Tanzania, the San of Namibia, and the Simene of Bolivia. Groups living without electricity, without clocks, without screens. He expected to find people sleeping longer than modern humans since they have no blue light keeping them up. He found the opposite. These groups slept, on average, less than 7 hours a night, not more. And almost none of them reported anything resembling what you'd call insomnia. Their sleep wasn't rigidly timed by the setting sun either. Many stayed awake for an hour or more after dark, talking around the fire, easing into rest gradually rather than dropping off the second the lights went out. What did that tell Siegel? That the pressure to fall asleep instantly and to fear the moments you're awake at night is a modern invention, not a biological failure. Think about that the next time you're lying awake at 2 a.m., quietly panicking about how unnatural it feels. For most of human history, being awake in the dark wasn't a malfunction. It was Tuesday. So what did ancient humans actually do in these wakeful hours? Not scroll. Obviously not scroll, but not much different from what you secretly want to do either, they thought. They talked in low voices with the people beside them. They noticed small sounds, an owl, a shifting log in the fire, the breathing of someone they loved. Some cultures even treated this in-between time as spiritually significant, a thin hour when dreams and waking thought blurred together, worth paying attention to rather than fighting. Compare that to what you do the moment you wake up at 2 a.m. now. Panic. Reach for a phone. Flood your eyes with blue light precisely engineered to convince your brain it's noon. Check the time obsessively, calculating how many hours of real sleep you have left, turning a normal biological rhythm into a countdown of failure. You've taken something completely ordinary and taught yourself to fear it. Here's the twist that should genuinely unsettle you. The kind of sleep doctors now diagnose as a disorder, waking in the middle of the night, might actually be your body attempting to return to its original setting. Not a glitch, a memory. Your nervous system reaching back for a rhythm your great-great-grandparents lived every single night of their lives before gas lamps and shift work and glowing rectangles convinced you it was broken. That doesn't mean you should throw out your sleep schedule tonight. Modern life runs on modern clocks, and few of us have the luxury of drifting into two-part sleep guided only by darkness. But it does mean something worth sitting with. The anxiety you feel about being awake at night might be doing you more damage than the wakefulness itself ever could. Ancient humans didn't fear the dark hours. They used them for conversation, for reflection, for simply existing in a quiet the modern world has almost completely engineered out of your life. Maybe the goal was never to eliminate that hour of nighttime wakefulness. Maybe the goal was to stop being afraid of it. So tonight, when you find yourself awake at 2 a.m., phone glowing in your hand, remember this. You are not broken. You're not failing at sleep. You're doing something your entire species did for hundreds of thousands of years before anyone ever told you it was wrong.